Hi guys. So there's a trend now on TikTok where we have a lot of people who voted for Trump, and like they're making a lot of videos saying that they are leaving Maga and that they regretted their votes. So they're just sharing why they regret it, and some of them it's because some things Trump is doing is affecting them. So they're kind of regretting it and they didn't think it was gonna affect them. But yeah, so we're gonna be taking these videos out and see why they regret it and what people's thoughts are. Before we get right into this video, I want to give a very big shout out to Chon for sending me a $20 cash app. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate you. Please make sure you click the like button. Let's get right into this video.
All I can say, I was a dumb voted for Trump only because of my beliefs. People around me encouraged it. I can think for myself, yes. But I felt at the time that was the better choice. Now I'm looking at it with everything going on. It was the worst decision I ever made. I wanted not to vote. But people said you won't be able to have a say in anything if you don't vote. I totally regret this. I shouldn't have voted at all.
I'm regretting my vote for Donald Trump. I am now unemployed because of him. We were head research in the development of do bears shit in woods? And if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around, does it make a sound? We were leading that. And now it's gone. I 100% regret my vote for Donald Trump.
So there's currently a trend going on TikTok right now with the hashtag leaving MAGA. And I originally went through this hashtag, saved a few videos of the people that are making content saying why they're leaving MAGA. And I was going to show it in this video. I have decided against that now, and I'm going to tell you why. Because all of them, every single one, their reason for leaving MAGA was because of something he's doing, Trump is doing, that is personally affecting them. For example, one of the women that made a video that she's leaving MAGA, her video has a caption that says, "The moment I regretted my vote for Trump." And it showed behind her a green screen of Trump signing the executive order that requires all federal employees to return back to the office. So like she's upset because she's been working from home since COVID and now she has to get up and actually go to work. Another one was an employee that works in a warehouse, and the warehouse was apparently primarily staffed by undocumented immigrants and they're nowhere to be seen. And so this guy is like by himself. He's like, there's not a soul in here. It's just me. Like, I can't do this alone. Like, why would Trump do this? Why would, like, these are the people that keep our country moving. Yeah, no shit. But it's a common theme. You see, it's a common theme why they're leaving. They're not leaving MAGA because Trump is an authoritarian wannabe dictator that is literally destroying our country in the first 3 weeks of his presidency. They are leaving MAGA because it's personally hurting them. You don't get to light your neighbor's house on fire, call the fire department, they put the fire out, and then look at your neighbor and be like, look, I did a good thing. No, you caused this. You voted for this. For what? For the economy, for the deportations, for the mean tweets, for the cheap gas. Like, you voted for it. Whatever reason you had, you voted for it. And there is nothing that you could say that could make up for the fact that what's happening right now is solely the fault of your own. We tried to tell all of you. We tried to tell you. I mean, half of the things that he's doing are promises he made during the campaign trail. And we were like, this isn't good. And you're like, yeah, but eggs, they're going to be cheaper. Well, now there's no fucking eggs because of the bird flu. So yeah, I guess eggs are cheaper. You can't even buy them. Yeah, you're saving some money. Good job. We're in a trade war with 3 different countries right now. And he's threatening Panama and Greenland. And literally anybody that doesn't agree with him, he's firing them. That's not how a president operates. That's how a dictator operates. I'm going to say this one last thing. I vote blue. I vote for Democrats because I care what happens to other people. You vote Republican because you care what happens to you. You see the difference?
If no one's gonna say it, I'll fucking say it. If it takes you being personally affected by what is going on in this country, if it takes you, a white person, I can assume, if it takes you being personally affected by what's going on in the country right now to start paying attention, I'm sorry, but we're not the same. I'm sorry. We do not share the same morals. We do not share empathy. And we do not share a table. You do not get my ear, my eyes, or my mother attention. If it takes you being personally affected to give that families are being ripped apart, that trans people are being denied existence, that equal rights initiatives are being taken away, if it takes you being personally affected and your gas prices going up and your egg prices going up and now you're mad, hi, welcome to the conversation. But we are not the same. Let's just draw that line in the sand really quick. You and me, not the same, not friends, not peers, not equals. Welcome to the revolution, but back of the line. I'll say it.
Okay, so this is hilarious. I just saw this white lady on here complaining that she just lost her job because she was hired under the diversity, equity, and inclusion program at her work. And you can see she didn't want to say it, but she really wanted to be like, but I'm not black. But that's not what diversity, equity, inclusion meant. The number one recipient of DEI hires is white women. The number one people who have benefited the most from this whole affirmative action and DEI hired has been white women, 100%. And now all these white women who voted for Donald Trump are going to find out that DEI included them. And I'm sorry, but this is one of the best fuck around and find out moments yet, because these women are the ones who deserve to be fired. I'm sorry, like, if you voted for Donald Trump and you get fired because you were a DEI hire, don't come looking to me for sympathy.
They took my wife.
This man, who wished not to be identified, says his wife is from Venezuela and has lived in the United States for a few years. She was one of 3 people taken from this home. I'm told the 2 others were men who worked in construction. You see them here. This video, only 1 minute and 52 seconds long, we do not see his wife being removed from the home. But this is a picture of her that he keeps in his wallet. Her name is Vianis Ramirez, and he says she was in the process of becoming a United States citizen.
She already had a court date. She was good. Everything's good. He just came and they snatched her.
These are pictures from the Department of Homeland Security detaining other undocumented men and women in Broward County.
It's despicable what they're doing right now. It's very embarrassing.
President Donald Trump arrived at his Trump National Golf Resort in Doral Saturday, set to host GOP leaders for a conference. This man hopes this message makes it to him.
If I get a chance to talk to you, man, yo, please, man, let's work something out. So you, man, let me keep my wife here in the United States, man. She deserves to be here, man.
ICE reports nearly 1.
No, I'm not a political person, but if you're gonna go and vote for someone, like, you should have, researched and see, maybe listen to them and see what they're gonna do when they become a president, and then you definitely should have your reasons as to why you're voting for that person, what you like about them. Their policies are things that you actually want, things that you actually feel like, a country should have, like, that's gonna be good for people and good for me, things like that, because mostly when people are going to vote, they're definitely going to vote for what benefits them and their family or people around them. And if there are those who actually love and care about people in general, they'll be like, oh, that's gonna affect a majority, like those policies are gonna be good and actually do good, or it's just something that just fits that person. But seeing this guy, Trump actually made sure has a whole portfolio of him doing something. Like, he has a history of actually deporting people. He doesn't play when it comes to immigration, and when it comes to the policies about him and immigration, it's just always like, that's just what it is. So that, and he made sure he made it clear during his campaign. He said he's going to deport, mass deportation. He's going to send people back that are illegally in the US. And you heard all of that, but you still thought you should vote for him. Like, did you think he was joking? Because everything he said he's gonna do, he's doing it. Oh, he's doing it. I'm kind of confused behind the logic that this man was using. Was he thinking it wasn't gonna affect him? And like, if his wife is not like legally in the country, or maybe possibly if he voted for him, then his wife is not gonna get deported. I don't even understand, like, because I'm trying to get what this whole thing is about.
I was at the grocery store, and I was talking to the lady in front of me in line. The cashier was ringing up her stuff, and she was watching her total go up. She goes, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. And I said, I know, everything is so expensive. She goes, it's just ridiculous. And I was like, yep. And then she goes, she got real quiet. She goes, I can't believe they lied. And I was like, oh my gosh, who lied? I love this. Who lied? Did somebody at the grocery store lie? She goes, Donald Trump and all the Republicans, they lied. They said everything was going to be less expensive, more affordable. Groceries would be cheaper, gas would be cheaper, living expenses for the average American would be cheaper. And I was like, she goes, but they lied. It's not true. I was like, yeah. And I told her, I said, I would have told you before you ever voted that he was lying and that wouldn't ever come true. But you probably wouldn't have listened to me. And she goes, you're right. I probably wouldn't have. I was like, what? And she just goes, I feel awful, I feel awful that I voted for him. I feel like I let myself down. I feel like I let my family down. I feel like I let my kids down. And I was like, hey, I get it. I really do. It's so easy to beat yourself up over choices that you've made, but you got to give yourself some grace. You know better, you do better, and that's all you could do, And she just goes, yeah, you're right. And she goes, I wish there was a lemon law for voting. And I go, oh, you know what? I wish there was too, because I guarantee you half the folks that voted for him would have returned that right to the voter dealership. Right on back to the voter dealership. She goes, you're probably right. Anyway, I just am so frustrated. Because if they just would have done their research, if they would have listened to a voice outside, the little conservative bubble, maybe they would have been like, oh, maybe I should look into that. Not like openly just like, oh, I'm going to disregard everything I believe and I'm going to go with that. But like, maybe like plant a seed, to like look into things for themselves. Use Google. Find some information, outside of like whoever was talking to them, through the TV, through the phone, through the news, whatever. They just would have like, anyway, it's so frustrating. But they're realizing that they made a mistake, which is great. It's just a little too late. But I hope, right, that it's a good learning experience for them, and that they take that into their midterm elections, right, and they vote according to like what they've actually looked into and pick people who would actually benefit them and their families the most, right, instead of just voting red or blue. And maybe even into like, the next presidential election, we don't just vote red or blue because that's what we've always done. We vote for somebody who would actually benefit the majority of Americans, right? So they're realizing it's just too late.
I'm really starting to regret my vote. Don't pretend you didn't know it was going to go like this. Everyone knew. Wasn't expecting him to be anti-cancer funding. This is the exact same party who campaigned on defunding the Department of Education. This is the exact same party who year after year after year refuses to fund free school lunches for children. This is the exact same party who voted against removing BPAs, a known carcinogenic, out of baby bottles. And you are surprised that they're against funding cancer research? I mean, it's the Republicans. They're trying to actively get rid of the polio vaccine. Your party is anti-intellectual. They do not like science, and you're surprised that they don't want to fund cancer research? Your guys' party is against any social programs for absolutely anyone. They don't want to help anyone or anything except themselves. You have voted billionaires into office, and you are surprised that they don't want to fund cancer research. Wow, this is the biggest, funniest, most bestest FAFO moment, isn't it? When you guys are crawling back simply because you're realizing, oh my gosh, voting for that man was absolutely... Anyways, my name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow or you won't see my faces again. Thank you, bye.
Who did you vote for today?
I voted for Donald Trump.
And why did you vote for Donald Trump?
I know that's jarring. I never thought I would vote for Donald Trump in my life. So actually, I'm from Houston, Texas, and in Texas usually votes Republican. And I am a hardcore Democrat, and I wanted Kamala to know that she lost a Democrat to Donald Trump because every time she interviews and she's asked about her policies, she usually says, well, I'm better than Trump. And I don't think that's a good answer. So I voted for Donald Trump.
So you, in essence, you did it to punish the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I did it to punish the Democratic Party.
And wouldn't you think that a lot of people say the better way to go is a third party if you wanted to vote with that strategy?
I didn't vote third party because Jill Stein is anti-vaccine and I'm not anti-vaccine. Therefore, she didn't align with some of my ideals and I voted for Trump.
And what difference will this make between the current government and Donald Trump?
So I think Donald Trump is just a change. I think they're both bad. And I think we're screwed either way. But I think I felt very betrayed by the Democrats and I could not vote for a Democrat this time. And so my plan honestly was to vote for Trump and get out of America.
Hasn't Trump openly expressed hatred for Muslims and minorities?
He has, and his brother-in-law actually is a Zionist. Like Jared Kushner is a Zionist, and I knew that going into that. But the reason why I voted for Donald Trump, knowing that, is because both of them are Zionists, and both of them are going to help the Zionist agenda. At least with Trump, I know what we're getting. Kamala, on the other hand, she says that she's going to stop the war. She says she's going to give aid, and she's not. With Donald Trump, I know what's going to happen. I know who he is. He's a very straightforward person, and I respect that he's straightforward. I either way, we're voting for genocide.
Do you think all this even makes a difference?
You have to show up to the polls, and your voice has to count. And I do really believe in voting.
Why not just boycott the whole voting movement?
Well, I live in Texas, so I had to vote Ted Cruz out. For the record, I voted straight Democrat down the ballot except for president.
Do you have any predictions this election season?
I think Kamala's going to win. That's just what the polls are looking at. Makes me sad. I think Kamala's also going to win Michigan, which kind of makes me really angry. And I think a lot of Americans threw their vote away. But again, my plan was actually to vote and then move to Qatar. So.
That's it for this video. I just wanted to show you some of the people who are regretting voting for Trump, and they're actually just expressing their regrets. By the way, this is a norm. I mean, it's always something that always happens with any election at all. Like, people they vote for someone, and then sometimes you get people along the way who regret their votes. Then there will be some people who are proud of their vote and be happy for whoever they're elected, and they'll be very contented with it. So it happens all the time. So I just wanted to show you guys a part of this. Thank you for watching this video to the very end. I really appreciate you. Please make sure you click the like button up to the algorithm, and I appreciate that so much. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you're watching me for the very first time, and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.